Welcome back to the most thrilling corner of YouTube, where numismatic secrets meet unbelievable real-life fortunes. And today we've got a shocking, unbelievable, and truly mind-blowing coin story that could change the way you look at your pocket change forever. Because we're diving deep into the extraordinary tale of the 1992 USA 1-cent coin, yes, the humble penny, that due to a series of incredibly rare errors, minting mistakes, and historically significant details, has been valued by collectors and experts at a jaw-dropping $629. And if that's not enough to grab your curiosity, let me just say this. This one coin, if hiding among your couch cushions or jammed at the bottom of a jar, could be the key to unlocking a small fortune and a world of numismatic prestige, because this 1992 penny isn't just metal, it's a time capsule, an anomaly, and a miracle of manufacturing flaws all wrapped into one tiny copper-plated package that most people wouldn't even think twice about tossing into a vending machine. Yet those who know the truth, those who've studied the mysterious and elusive traits of this coin, know that it's far more than face value. It's a symbol of how even the smallest overlooked details in the minting process can yield astonishing value in the collector's market. And it all begins with a mint error that was never supposed to happen, yet did, resulting in the exceedingly rare 1992 close AM variety, a version of the coin where the spacing between the A and M, in America, on the reverse side of the coin is nearly non-existent, a detail so minute that the naked eye might miss it unless you knew exactly what to look for. Yet this microscopic spacing error caused an explosion of excitement in the coin collecting world when first discovered, because it represented an accidental crossover of proof die designs onto regular circulation coins. Something that should never have occurred, but through a combination of human error, worn die replacement protocols, and overlapping mint schedules, this error was born, and today it's one of the most prized and desirable Lincoln cent varieties known to experts, with its value further amplified by the fact that only a very limited number were ever produced, and even fewer survived circulation in decent condition, making high-grade examples incredibly scarce. And that scarcity drives demand and increases the willingness of collectors to pay large sums at auction, where even moderately circulated specimens have fetched hundreds of dollars, while mint state and certified pieces have been known to cross the $1,000 threshold in rare cases, with one famous MS-67 example once fetching many thousands due to its sheer rarity and immaculate condition. But there's more, because the close AM isn't the only anomaly to look for in a 1992 penny, and eagle-eyed collectors also search for die cracks, off-center strikes, double die averse, and transitional errors where the wrong metal composition was used due to leftover planchets from prior years. And with the 1992 penny being minted right on the cusp of technological upgrades in die making, several known examples have been found with ghostly doubling on Lincoln's profile, misaligned dies leading to crescent-shaped off-centers, and even broad-struck errors where the coin wasn't properly constrained during the striking process, leading to warped, enlarged, or incomplete shapes that instantly spark collector interest, and each of these mistakes turns a normal penny into a rare and potentially lucrative find. And while the Denver minted 1992 D close AM is the rarest known variety, even Philadelphia minted close AMs have found value due to their misclassification and the general misunderstanding of their rarity among casual collectors, and this confusion only fuels the mystique surrounding the coin, because so many remain in circulation unidentified, just waiting for someone with a keen eye and knowledge to scoop it up. And that's why numismatists all over the world treat the 1992 penny with reverence, checking every single one they come across under magnification, analyzing strike sharpness, letter alignment, edge wear, and even signs of over-polishing on the die fields, as all these minor clues can point to a penny being more than just a penny. And what makes the 1992 cent even more valuable is the historical context in which it was minted, nestled in the post-Gulf War American economy, where inflation was rising and technological automation was beginning to revolutionize the U.S. mint's operations, making transitional flaws and experimental dies far more likely to enter general circulation unnoticed, especially in years like 1992 when administrative changes and equipment updates left room for human oversight and inconsistency. And in the midst of these shifting protocols, Mint employees accidentally used a proof reverse die meant for collector sets on regular circulation coinage, and because that reverse die featured the famous close AM spacing, it accidentally created a coin that's now one of the most hunted and hyped in modern American coinage history. And while many people think their change is worthless, the truth is that your next 1992 penny could hold clues to hidden errors like die rotations, filled dies resulting in missing letters or numbers, or even extreme mid-damage that has paradoxically increased value among collectors who admire the one-of-a-kind nature of such mistakes. And the obsession doesn't stop with Lincoln's reverse either, because the obverse has its own mysteries. Look for doubling in Liberty, misaligned dates, or even ghost impressions left by damaged or repurposed dies, each of which could further elevate the coin's desirability and price. And don't overlook coins with unusual luster, strange planchet streaks, or excessive wear in only certain areas, which can all be signs of flaws in the die preparation process that inadvertently created a unique variety. And when it comes to grading, certified coins with original mint luster, no contact marks, and a clean strike will always command higher premiums, especially when authenticated by trusted services like PCGS or NGC, both of whom have documented the 1992 close AM and other rare variants, and consistently advise collectors to keep an eye out for these elusive cents that can turn a small find into a big payday. And as more collectors and hobbyists flood into the hobby every year, fueled by viral news articles, TikTok videos, and auction headlines boasting of pennies selling for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, the value of the 1992 cent only continues to climb, because awareness leads to demand, and demand drives price, especially for those examples in pristine condition that are now harder to find due to the relentless march of time and the natural attrition of circulation. And who knows how many were tossed into machines, left in the rain, or scraped away into oblivion before anyone knew to look for the close AM, and that's why now, more than ever, it's critical to check every 1992 penny you find, examine both sides carefully, and take note of any signs of strangeness, because even a subtle shift in font alignment, metal coloration, or rim shape could mean you've discovered a unique variant worth documenting and submitting for authentication, and if certified, that small find could become the centerpiece of your collection or the spark that ignites a new income stream in coin collecting and reselling. And for every collector, enthusiast, treasure hunter, or even someone just curious about what might be sitting in their old piggy bank or junk drawer, the 1992 1-cent coin represents a symbol of hidden value, of overlooked treasure, and of the sheer unpredictability that makes numismatics so thrilling and so lucrative when you least expect it. And whether you're a seasoned expert or just now learning about what makes these coins so rare and valuable, remember this: knowledge is power, attention to detail is profit, and sometimes the smallest coin can make the biggest impact, so don't underestimate the next penny you find, especially if it's a 1992, because that 1 cent just might be your $629 jackpot waiting to happen. And with that thrilling possibility in mind, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more unbelievable coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss another episode where history, money, and mystery all collide in the palm of your hand. Next, 2001 cent coin. Have you ever walked past a penny lying on the ground, thinking it's just a worthless coin? Well, what if I told you that a simple 2000 USA 1 cent coin, the same copper-colored piece most people ignore, could actually be worth $127 or even more, depending on its condition, rarity, and hidden minting anomalies? Welcome to a journey deep into the world of numismatics, where history, mistakes, and scarcity combine to transform everyday pocket change into jaw-dropping treasure. And today, we're diving into one of the most surprising stories in American coinage, the 2001 cent coin, a modern-era Lincoln penny that defies the odds and captures the attention of collectors across the nation and beyond. And by the end of this video, you'll see how a coin with a face value of just 1 cent is turning heads and changing lives because of its unexpected value in the collector's market due to key factors like minting errors, die varieties, transitional design elements, rare conditions, and public demand, all of which converge to make this particular penny stand out in a sea of billions of similar-looking coins. Yet only a handful actually possess the qualities that elevate them from spare change to coveted collectibles. And it all starts with understanding the era. 2000, a year marked by technological progress and economic transition, where even the United States Mint faced new challenges, upgraded machinery, and evolving production techniques, which opened the door to minor slip-ups, unnoticed by the naked eye, but incredibly valuable to trained eyes of collectors and graders. And among the 2000 Lincoln cents struck, a few rare anomalies emerged, including doubled dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, misaligned dies, and clipped planchets, with some even showing die breaks that resemble famous patterns like the so-called BIE error, which occurs when a small die break appears between the letters B and E in Liberty, mimicking a third letter. And these variations are not just aesthetic quirks but critical elements that skyrocket the value of a coin from pocket change to premium treasure. And it's not only errors that play a role. Because the 2000 penny marks an era in which zinc-based planchets had long replaced the older copper-heavy coins, yet some were still mistakenly struck on leftover copper planchets from previous decades, and such transitional errors are among the most sought after, with copper pennies weighing 3.11 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams, and collectors will pay a hefty sum just for this incorrect weight alone, not to mention other factors like full red color designation, high-grade mint state ratings like MS67 or above, and certified grading from trusted agencies like PCGS or NGC, which authenticate and catalog the coin's unique properties, increasing its appeal on the open market and in private auctions. And speaking of market, let's not forget the human aspect, the collectors, investors, and numismatists who scour online platforms, estate sales, flea markets, and old family jars in search of such rare 2000 pennies, willing to pay well beyond the $127 benchmark for examples that exhibit superior qualities or rare anomalies. And the excitement only grows when you realize that these valuable coins are often hiding in plain sight, perhaps already in your home, waiting to be discovered, examined under magnification, weighed, and assessed for their hidden worth, because even something as minor as a doubling in the date or lettering, a subtle die rotation, or a minor shift in strike alignment could mean the difference between a common coin and a gem worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, and these discoveries aren't rare in theory but rare in practice, as the vast majority of people never bother to look closely, never check the weight, never investigate the shine or luster, and certainly never send their coins in for grading, leaving behind opportunities that a more informed collector would capitalize on in an instant. And that's why content like this is vital, because we're shining a light on the hidden value that exists all around us, reminding everyone that sometimes the smallest, most overlooked items can carry immense historical and monetary value. And when it comes to the 2000 USA 1-cent coin, the story is not just about a number, but about a moment frozen in time, a tiny piece of metal that encapsulates decades of economic evolution, minting craftsmanship, and the endless human fascination with rarity and value. And with each new discovery, each error uncovered, each coin authenticated, the legend of the 2000 penny grows, turning more heads, driving more searches, and fueling more passionate collectors to take action. So whether you're a seasoned coin hunter or just someone who happened to find an old penny lying around, now is the time to look closer, weigh carefully, and examine thoroughly, because the next big discovery could literally be sitting in your pocket, and who knows, you might just have the next $127 coin or one even more valuable waiting to be uncovered. So don't forget to like this video. Subscribe to our channel for more eye-opening stories and updates on rare coins, and turn on notifications so you never miss another incredible tale of modern treasure hiding in plain sight. Next, 2001 Lincoln penny. Today we take you deep into the incredible world of rare coins, surprising minting mistakes, and the jaw-dropping values that seemingly ordinary pocket change can hold. And if you're a collector, a coin enthusiast, or just someone who wants to know whether that penny in your drawer is secretly worth a small fortune, you're going to want to stay tuned, because what we're about to reveal may just blow your mind as we dig into the astonishing story behind the 2001 1-cent coin. Yes, a penny, minted in Denver, which has gained unexpected attention for being worth not one, not five, not even 10, but an estimated $93 due to its rare errors, unique characteristics, and quirks that elevate it far beyond its humble face value. And as we go on this journey, you'll learn everything from what went wrong at the Denver Mint to how a simple error made this coin a treasure, and how you, too, might come across such valuable finds if you know exactly what to look for. So grab your magnifying glass, prepare to examine every detail, and let's get into the fascinating tale of the 2001 D penny, worth far more than its 1-cent label suggests, starting first with the foundation of how coin errors happen in general and how they influence a coin's value in the marketplace. Because understanding that context is key to appreciating the real-world value collectors assign to these pieces. And in the case of the 2001 D Lincoln cent, we are dealing with a multitude of potential minting anomalies, including off-center strikes, die cracks, double dies, planchet issues, and more. And it's these imperfections, born not from neglect but from the complexities of high-speed coin production, that can result in fascinating outcomes. And one of the most commonly noted valuable features on the 2001 D penny is an off-center strike, in which the coin blank was improperly positioned during minting, causing part of the design to appear off the edge and creating a crescent-like blank space which, depending on how dramatic the error is, can significantly raise the value, with most collectors especially drawn to off-center strikes that still preserve readable dates and mint marks. And this combination of clarity and flaw creates a rarity that becomes a magnet for those seeking standout examples for their collection. And then there's the double die, a mistake that occurs when a coin die is engraved twice at slightly different angles or positions, resulting in a doubled image on the final coin. And if you take a close look at some 2001 D pennies, you'll see that there are reports of doubling on key features such as the date, the word liberty, or the phrase "In God We Trust." And while not every collector-grade penny from that year will feature such doubling, those that do are in high demand, especially when the doubling is strong, clear, and easy to spot without magnification, which makes them more accessible to casual collectors who still desire a piece of rare U.S. minting history. And even minor doubling, though less dramatic, contributes to the coin's elevated appeal. And that's not all, because die cracks, thin, raised lines that appear on the coin due to fractures in the minting die, are also a notable feature on some 2001 D cents, often showing up across Lincoln's bust or along the edges of the coin. And though some cracks are small and subtle, others extend significantly and are dubbed cut errors, when metal flows into a chip section of the die, leaving a blob-like formation on the surface of the coin. And these cut errors can fetch handsome premiums depending on size, placement, and how prominently they interrupt the coin's design, making them particularly desirable to error coin specialists. And yet another factor in value is the presence of planchet flaws. These are problems with the blank metal discs before they are struck with the coin's design. And in 2001 D examples, collectors have found coins with lamination errors where thin layers of metal peel or flake off, exposing textures and surfaces beneath. And though such coins are technically defects, within the collecting world they are revered anomalies, appreciated not in spite of their flaws but because of them. And it's this paradox that drives up their market price, transforming a 1-cent coin into a conversation piece. And then we can't ignore the importance of weak strikes and misaligned dies, both of which have been documented in 2001 D Lincoln cents and contribute to their collectible value, with a weak strike resulting when the coin wasn't hit with enough pressure, leaving faint or incomplete designs, and misaligned die errors creating uneven spacing or orientation between the obverse and reverse images. And both types of errors add to the coin's character and rarity, especially when combined with other errors on a single coin, known as multi-error specimens, which are exceptionally valued due to their unique convergence of flaws. And collectors are also on the lookout for repunched mint marks or RPMs, where the D for Denver was struck more than once in slightly different positions, creating a shadowed or doubled appearance under close inspection. And although less common in the modern era, RPMs from 2001 D are still sought after and can significantly increase a coin's worth, particularly if the doubling is obvious and dramatic. And to add yet another layer to the intrigue, some 2001 D cents are known to have striking differences in their copper plating, which can lead to unusual coloration, with coins appearing more golden, red, or even dark brown than expected, and while color variations alone don't always guarantee high value, when paired with other errors they become contributing factors in the eyes of numismatists, enhancing a coin's overall uniqueness and desirability. And it's worth noting how condition matters too. Many 2001D era pennies command the highest prices when found in uncirculated condition, meaning they've never been used in day-to-day transactions and retain their original mint luster. And these pristine era coins are far rarer since most pennies go into circulation immediately after minting, making untouched era specimens a premium commodity that can fetch prices far beyond the typical $93 average, depending on the era type, magnitude, and preservation level. And when these coins are graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC and receive high marks like MS65 or above, their prices can climb even higher, sometimes crossing into the triple digits if the error is both dramatic and eye-catching. And all these nuances illustrate just how much complexity surrounds what many would consider a mundane, everyday object, and yet for collectors, the 2001D penny represents the perfect storm of minting unpredictability and mechanical precision gone slightly askew, and that's what makes it so desirable, because in a world where billions of identical coins are produced, anything that breaks that mold becomes instantly interesting. And as more collectors enter the hobby and awareness spreads through platforms like YouTube, online marketplaces, and collector communities, the demand for era coins like the 2001D penny has only grown, with prices reflecting both scarcity and storytelling potential. And speaking of stories, imagine stumbling upon a coin like this in your change jar or inherited coin collection, unaware of the little treasure sitting under your nose, and then realizing its true value only after examining it carefully or having it appraised. Moments like these are what drive the passion of coin hunting and keep the numismatic world vibrant and exciting. And now that you know what makes the 2001D penny worth $93 or more, from double dies and off-center strikes to die cracks, cuds, RPMs, and planchet flaws, you're better equipped to spot the valuable differences that elevate one coin above the billions of others. So whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, keep your eyes peeled and your curiosity alive, because the next big find might just be sitting in your pocket right now. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another deep dive into the world of rare and valuable coins that could change the way you see your change forever. Next, 1993 1-cent coin. Today we're about to dive deep into a coin story that's gripping the attention of collectors across the globe. The tale of the 1993 1-cent coin from the United States. A penny that under the surface of its copper-plated exterior hides errors, mistakes, and mysteries, making it worth as much as $378 in the eyes of determined collectors and numismatic hunters. And the fascinating journey begins with a basic understanding of how something as common as a 1993 penny can gain such incredible value when most of us wouldn't think twice before tossing it into a tip jar or letting it disappear into the folds of an old couch. Yet here lies a tale of imperfection becoming perfection, of manufacturing flaws becoming prized possessions, and a coin that once cost only a single cent becoming a gem in someone's prized collection, because in the world of coins, value is often found in the unexpected. In the stories the metal tells, in the circumstances that led to a unique strike or a one-in-a-million minting error, and the 1993 1-cent coin proves that even something meant for mass circulation can become a rare collectible if just a few things go differently during its production at the United States Mint. And when we look into the 1993 penny, we first recognize that it was produced in enormous quantities. Hundreds of millions of these coins were struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, and by all logic, with such high mintage, the coins should be common, disposable, and barely worth more than face value. But rarity is not always about quantity, it's about distinction, it's about what sets one coin apart from another, and in the case of the 1993 penny, that distinction comes in the form of minting errors and anomalies that slip through quality control unnoticed only to surface decades later under the watchful eyes of collectors. So let's peel back the layers and explore the types of mistakes and oddities that transformed this humble coin into something that could command hundreds of dollars in auctions and private sales, starting with one of the most notorious errors in numismatics, the doubled die, which occurs when the die used to strike the coin has been engraved twice in slightly different positions, resulting in design elements that appear duplicated, and in the case of the 1993 penny, collectors have identified specimens showing doubling on the obverse lettering, particularly around the words Liberty and In God We Trust, as well as Lincoln's profile itself, where the doubling creates a ghost-like outline, a shadow of repetition that elevates the coin from ordinary to extraordinary, and such double die errors can fetch substantial sums depending on the severity of the doubling, the clarity, and the condition of the coin overall, because the stronger and clearer the doubling, the higher the demand among serious collectors. And then we move on to another class of errors that adds both intrigue and value to the 1993 penny, the off-center strike, which occurs when a coin is not perfectly aligned between the dies during the striking process and ends up with a portion of the design missing or misaligned, and depending on how far off-center the coin is, these errors can be worth dozens or even hundreds of dollars, with 5% or 10% off-center errors being interesting but modestly valued, while 50% off-center strikes that still show a full date are incredibly rare and highly sought after, especially if the coin also bears a mint mark like D for Denver, which adds another layer of collectability to the specimen. And of course, we cannot ignore the importance of condition in all of this, because a 1993 penny with a significant error but covered in corrosion or heavy scratches might be overlooked, while a pristine, uncirculated coin with a minor but clear error could generate competitive bidding in numismatic circles. And speaking of striking errors, one of the more fascinating and visually striking types seen in 1993 pennies involves broad strikes, where the coin is struck without the retaining collar in place, causing the metal to expand outward into a flattened, oversized disc that still retains the design elements but looks nothing like a regular penny. And because these broad strikes are easy to spot and unusual to come across, especially from a year like 1993, they command significant attention and sometimes substantial prices depending on how dramatic the deformation is. And that's not all, because there's also a growing interest in clipped planchet errors from this year, where the coin blank was improperly cut from the metal sheet and ends up with a crescent-shaped chunk missing. And while such errors were once considered merely curiosities, today's collector market sees them as opportunities to own a piece of minting history gone awry. And then there are the transitional errors. And although less commonly associated with 1993, there are persistent rumors and even a few alleged sightings of coins struck on the wrong planchets, such as leftover blanks from other denominations or years, leading to a 1993 penny struck on a dime planchet or a foreign planchet, which would not only be lighter or smaller than a regular penny but would also carry mismatched details. And coins like these can fetch eye-watering prices at auction because of their extreme rarity, and the stories they suggest about the inner workings and occasional oversights at the mint. And then we get into the more subtle but still valuable category of die cracks, cuds, and retained die breaks, all of which are flaws in the dies themselves that leave raised lines or blobs on the coin's surface. And while individually they might not command massive prices, when they are dramatic or located in particularly visible areas like across Lincoln's face or intersecting with the date, they become known varieties, tracked by error collectors and included in catalogs, often with specific names and pricing guides. And when combined with high grades, these small imperfections can lift the coin's value significantly. But let's not forget the role that grading plays in determining the ultimate value of a 1993 penny with any of these errors, because whether it's a minor doubled die or a dramatic off-center strike, the condition of the coin as assessed by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC can elevate it from interesting to investment worthy. And coins graded mint state 65 or higher are always more valuable, particularly if they combine high condition with a clear and desirable error, and the collector market responds accordingly, with some pristine examples of error coins from 1993 fetching $300 or more simply due to the combination of condition and uniqueness. And as more collectors enter the hobby and look for affordable yet interesting coins to pursue, the demand for pieces like the 1993 era penny continues to rise, fueled by online marketplaces, YouTube channels, Facebook groups, and coin forums that regularly highlight surprising finds, including everyday coins with hidden value, And because pennies are among the most common and widely handled coins in circulation, there is always the exciting possibility that someone finds a valuable 1993 penny in pocket change or a coin jar, triggering viral excitement and renewed interest in the hidden gems of American currency. And that's part of what makes the story of the 1993 1-cent coin so compelling, because it's not just a story of a single coin but a reminder that treasure sometimes lies in plain sight, and with a trained eye and a bit of curiosity, anyone can uncover a coin worth hundreds, all because of a small mistake at the mint or a slight variation that escaped detection decades ago. And the continued hunt for these coins only adds to their appeal as more collectors share their finds and more guides emerge to help identify the key diagnostics of valuable 1993 pennies, from doubled letters and split serifs to unusual planchet weights and off-center margins. So whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned numismatist, the 1993 1-cent coin offers an accessible and rewarding target, a piece of history minted in an era before digital precision took over every step of the production process, and every tiny error still carried the weight of human oversight and mechanical unpredictability. And it's that unpredictability that makes these coins worth so much today, because they are tangible artifacts of imperfection, cherished precisely because they deviate from the norm. And that's why the story of the 1993 penny is not just about copper, zinc, and value. It's about the magic that happens when the unexpected meets the overlooked, and suddenly a 1-cent piece becomes a $378 curiosity, a conversation starter, a collectible, and maybe even a small fortune for the person lucky enough to discover one. So keep checking your change, stay curious, and who knows what treasure you might find in the palm of your hand. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the value behind a seemingly ordinary coin, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another story where pocket change becomes pure gold. Last, we explore the fascinating world of rare coins, minting mistakes, and jaw-dropping valuations that will make you rethink what's sitting in your pocket or coin jar. And today we're diving deep into a coin that might look like an ordinary penny to the untrained eye but has captivated collectors and historians alike due to its hidden flaws and peculiar production quirks that sent its value skyrocketing to a stunning $274 despite its humble face value of just 1 cent. Yes, we're talking about the enigmatic 1998 1-cent coin from the United States Mint. And while most people would casually toss it into a piggy bank or forget it at the bottom of a drawer, those in the know understand that it's the seemingly insignificant imperfections and errors that turn such coins into rare collectibles worth hundreds and potentially more depending on specific characteristics. And the journey of understanding this coin begins with an appreciation of its origin, minted in an era of high volume production when the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of pennies annually using copper-plated zinc compositions introduced in 1982 to replace the costlier bronze alloys. The 1998 penny was part of a modern wave of coinage marked by efficiency but not without its share of mistakes, and it is precisely these errors, mechanical, human, or metallurgical, that introduced unique varieties which would later captivate numismatists and treasure seekers across the nation, and perhaps the most sought after among these errors is the double die variety, where the design appears to have been stamped twice, slightly offset, creating ghostly echoes on key features such as the date, the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," and such doubling errors occur during the die hubbing process, a stage in which the master die imparts its image onto a working die, and when misaligned or subjected to multiple impressions, the die can carry a flawed blueprint that then gets transferred onto every coin it strikes, making each product of that flawed die a unique treasure. And the 1998 double die pennies, especially those with dramatic doubling on the obverse or reverse lettering, command premium prices from collectors who crave visible anomalies. But that's just the beginning, because the coin's value is further influenced by off-center strikes. Another common but exciting minting mishap where the blank planchet is improperly aligned under the press, causing the design to appear partially or significantly shifted from the coin's center and even resulting in missing edges or distorted imagery. And depending on how dramatic the misalignment is, especially when the date and mint mark remain visible, these coins can fetch anywhere from $50 to several $100s. placing the $274 valuation well within the realm of possibility for a highly distorted 1998 cent. And then there are the die cracks, cuds, and die breaks that introduce raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface. Each a silent testimony to the wear and tear endured by the dies after striking thousands or millions of coins, and a 1998 cent with prominent die cracks running across Lincoln's portrait or bridging elements of the reverse can command surprising premiums due to its eye-catching appeal and relative rarity. And let's not forget about the coins exhibiting broad strikes or partial collar errors, which occur when the retaining collar meant to hold the coin in place during the strike is absent or misaligned, allowing the planchet to expand beyond its normal diameter, giving the coin a peculiar, stretched appearance that sets it apart from standard issues and immediately grabs a collector's attention. And while these mechanical issues are critical, we must also examine the realm of transitional errors and planchet anomalies which can elevate the coin's rarity even further. Such as the rare possibility that a 1998 penny might have been struck on a foreign or older planchet, a mistake that results in incorrect weight, metallic composition, and surface tone, and detection of such errors often requires a precise scale or X-ray fluorescence analysis. But once verified, these rarities can skyrocket in value and prestige. And speaking of composition, it's worth noting that although most 1998 cents were struck on copper-plated zinc planchets, a few anomalies have been found on bronze planchets from earlier years or even steel planchets intended for other denominations or foreign coins. And such composition errors are among the most coveted in the field because of their exceptional rarity and the dramatic differences in weight and magnetic properties that make them stand out to seasoned collectors. And still, the scope of rarity isn't limited to just errors because condition plays a critical role too, and a 1998 penny in pristine, uncirculated, or mint state condition with full red luster and no contact marks can command significant premiums even without obvious errors. And when such flawless surfaces are combined with rare die varieties or strike anomalies, the value compounds exponentially, often drawing bidding wars in online auctions or numismatic conventions. And even coins with minor doubling or very subtle die polish lines can increase in value if they are certified by reputable grading agencies like PCGS or NGC, who assign grades from MS60 all the way up to MS70 for coins in perfect condition. And as the coin market continues to expand with new generations of collectors entering the scene, often driven by viral social media posts or the allure of finding hidden treasure in spare change, coins like the 1998 penny with confirmed errors become legendary, leading to database entries, dedicated articles, and entire online forums discussing their characteristics, sightings, auction results, and authentication tips. And this ever-growing digital documentation adds to the coin's notoriety and collectability, making it not just a piece of currency but a historical artifact with a story. And often these coins change hands multiple times, each time appreciating in value as knowledge spreads and demand increases. And in the case of the 1998 penny valued at $274, its worth could stem from a combination of factors, such as a medium-strength double die on the reverse, a die crack through Lincoln's temple, slightly off-center strike, or even a retained cut on the rim that gives it a bulky, rugged edge appearance, coupled with an excellent mint state preservation that places it in the top percentile of surviving examples. And this synergy between condition, error type, and market awareness is what creates coin celebrities that capture headlines. And there are even reports of such coins being found in circulated condition, tucked into jars or inherited collections, which adds to the thrill and makes people more likely to check their change. And the thrill of discovery fuels the numismatic fire, prompting people to acquire magnifying glasses, coin scales, and even portable microscopes just to check for those minute imperfections that could mean the difference between a common coin and a jackpot. And while not every 1998 penny is worth hundreds, the handful that exhibit these traits become benchmarks for collectors and prized additions to any portfolio, often kept in sealed holders, documented with high-resolution images, and discussed in collector groups or passed down generations as legacy pieces. And as more people become aware of the intricacies behind coin production, from die stages to planchet preparation to striking and quality control, the more appreciation grows for the complex process and the inherent unpredictability that makes era coins so fascinating. And that's why coins like the 1998 1-cent piece continue to draw attention decades later, offering both historical insight and modern-day reward. And whether you're a seasoned numismatist or just someone curious about that shiny penny on your nightstand, stories like this highlight the immense potential hiding in plain sight, and the 1998 1-cent coin worth $274 stands as a testament to how error, chance, and a little bit of history can turn a seemingly insignificant object into a collector's dream. So the next time you get change from the store or empty your pockets at the end of the day, take a closer look. You might just be holding something extraordinary, and if you love discovering rare treasures and learning what makes coins like this so valuable, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss an update about the next hidden gem in American coinage history.